The first thing that I want to mention is that in this question, when you take it, you're first going to listen to a conversation between two students, always a man and a woman. After that, you're going to hear a question about the conversation that you heard. Then you'll have 20 seconds to prepare your answer to that question and 60 seconds to deliver your speech to answer that question. So now let's break it down bit by bit and see exactly how to attack each part. In the beginning of this conversation, one of the students, either the man or the woman, could be the man or the woman, is going to discuss a problem. Now the problem is a simple problem, a campus problem. Something like, oh, I don't have enough money for the party, or I'm throwing a party and I don't know how to make it fun, or I have this homework assignment that I don't know how to do, something along those lines. So this problem is going to be discussed a little bit, more than just one sentence. There's a situation involved, so you're going to have to take good notes on it. Write down what's happening, what's the problem about. Not just one word, but a few that represent the overall idea of what's happening. After the problem is discussed, one of the students, could be the same student that had the problem, could be the other student, is going to offer a solution. Hey, why don't you try this? To that solution, the two students are going to have responses, meaning they're going to say, well, that solution is good because of this, but it's also bad because of that. So they're going to go back and forth with it. After that, there's going to be a second solution. And the same thing is going to happen. Second solution is going to be pretty quick. They're just going to say, why don't you try this? I think this is a good idea. Sometimes they can be tough, but usually they're pretty clear. And then, of course, you have a response, a back and forth. I like it, I don't like it. That's the conversation. What's the problem, discussed in the conversation, and which of the two solutions suggested would you choose for the man and why? That's it. So you have to discuss the problem, then you have to choose which solution you think is best and be prepared to support it. What you want to do during your 20 seconds is you want to organize all of this information. And you want to do that by drawing 3 circles. One circle around the words that represent the problem, and only the problem. All the way around, not through, nice and clear. Next thing you want to do is circle the words that deal with the first solution, nothing else. Not the response, just the solution, the first one. Big circle all the way around, include all the words that need to be included, exclude everything else. The third circle around the second solution. That way, when you look at your notes, you can quickly identify the problem and the 2 solutions. And this is important for when I discuss to you how you're actually going to deliver your speech. Now, the first sentence is, of course, very clear. The man's problem is that. And that's where you say the information in the first circle. Everything you can. 3 sentences discussing the problem is pretty good if you can do it within the time limit. Then you make the transition sentence. The students discuss 2 solutions. Don't say the man or the woman, because sometimes it's mixed, so you don't want to make a mistake there. That's safe, that's accurate, and it will always be okay. So make sure you use that. And then, of course, just first, and then say the second circle, right? Information about solution 1. And then second to third circle, the information in the third circle, right? Which was solution 2. So now, after you've delivered that information, now you want to go ahead and give which solution you think is best and why. This is where we need a little bit of work. So, you can choose either solution you want, it really doesn't matter, but from my experience, it's best just to say whichever solution is second. Just choose the second solution. It's usually the easiest to support, and it doesn't really matter which solution you choose, so don't even spend a second thinking about it. Now, how do we deliver our nice, clear, grammatically strong sentence? We say, if I were the man, so that's unreal conditional if you remember, but it's correct. If I were the man, I would choose the second solution. Nice, clear, strong, accurate sentence. Very well done. Then, the first isn't very good or isn't good because, so that's a clear sentence that establishes your reason. The first solution, I don't like it. The first solution isn't good because. Now, this is where you actually use the responses that you heard in the conversation. What you're going to do is you're going to use the negative response for solution 1 here. You're going to say the first solution isn't good because it's not very good. And explain why it wasn't very good from the conversation. Then you'll say the second is better because, and you'll use the positive information. Now, This may be a little tricky, and honestly this is the hardest part to get. Keep it simple for now, but I know that you understand this basic idea. After I finish with this, we're going to go back to the 20 seconds to prepare, and I'll discuss in more detail how to use the responses in the conversation to fill this information up nicely. And then of course you conclude. That's why I would choose the second solution. So, another thing to keep in mind is your timing. Remember, the timer is your friend. If you don't get used to using it when you practice, you might get hurt on the test. So make sure to practice with a timer that counts down from 60 seconds. Because as you should already know, that's how the test goes, it counts down. So, you want to spend about 25 to 30 seconds discussing the first half. 25 is the best, ideal, the good way to do it. So when the timer hits around 35 seconds, right, from 60 to 35, you want to be finished here, and you want to be starting if I were. Then that way you can use about 30 to 35 seconds to deliver this part. If you want to attack solution 1, that means you want to kind of say that the positive about solution 1 wasn't a big deal. How do we do that? Even though, right? Regardless. So you use a word that shows that this information doesn't really matter. And then you want to agree and support the attack, the negative of solution 1. So you use words like as the man said. So this would sound something like solution 1 is terrible because even though there's something positive about it, as the man said, there's something negative, and we don't want to do that negative thing. Of course, you don't have to say solution 1 is terrible. You can use the phrase that you learned. Solution 1 isn't very good because. Now, the same thing with solution 2. You want to support it. So you say even though to the negative information about solution 2 and as to the positive information. Same reason. So you say solution 2 is better because even though there's something negative about solution 2, as the man said, or the woman, right? You never know where it can come from. As the student said, there's something positive about it, and we want that positive thing. And that's how you deliver that's how you prepare your notes. You write the word ET, now you understand why and where it goes, next to the positive of solution 1, as for the negative of solution 1, for the reasons we discussed, ET for even though, for the negative of solution 2, you know why now, and as for the positive of solution 2, I hope you know why now. Don't burn through your questions. That's one of the things that I'm noticing with some students. They feel like they always have to practice a new question, but trust me, that doesn't work. What you want to do is master a question. Practice the same question so many times until you almost have it memorized. But don't just memorize it, think about it, remember the structure. It'll become easier. Just like anything else, doing the same exact thing over time will help you when there's a little bit of variation. So if you're watching on my site, don't forget to go on VoxoPop, record yourself, leave your answer for 60 seconds, make sure to follow the format, and I'll give you some feedback, tell you how to improve. So if you're really struggling and you find that these videos are good, but you need more help, you want more guidance, come to the website and check out some of the systems that we have for the speaking and also the writing. And what I do is for some of the systems, if you work hard, I know what I teach works. So I guarantee you results.